when it's time to execute the plan, I'm like, do I really want to do that? No, I don't. So I'm gonna come
Right.
up with every excuse as to why I can't. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Podcast. I'm Emma Pardo.
And I'm Katy Martin. And today we're talking about being canceled, but not what you think.
Yeah, not
not, not
being
what not what people are sick of hearing about. But this is actually a kind of fun topic. It's about, you someone who cancels plans, or do you get canceled on? And I think our age difference is going to be a beneficial point of view for the conversation.
perspective, a good perspective on both.
Right.
Straight up, I like to be that person that tries to get out of everything.
So you're the part of
I think it's a great idea when it's like planned in the moment. When it's time to execute the plan, I'm like, do I really want to do that? No, I don't. So I'm gonna come
right.
up with every excuse as to why I can't.
Yeah, and it's usually and we're talking about like social plans. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
social plans.
we're not trying to get out of work. The videos that I see a lot are usually millennials,
Mm-hmm.
like younger millennials. I'm on the older side, so like I tend to be okay with plans. I'm not like, if it's legit, like my close friends, like I'm not one to try to get out of it. But I am, as I'm getting older though, trying to get out of like planned social events, like parties. Yeah, like there have been times where Justin's like, "We're going to this party. We've RSVP'd. We're on the list," and I'm like, "Okay, all right, like whatever."
Mm-hmm.
In the morning of, I'm like, I really don't want to do that today."
No, not today. It's always like this, like I have good intentions behind it. It's like hitting the snooze when you wake up. It's like I have the best intentions to wake up early or like do the thing, go make the plans or go
Right.
execute the plans. But by the time it happens, so when the alarm goes off, I'm like, no.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel that internally, but I still go. And I think a lot of adults struggle with that just because you have so much other stuff to do.
But
And
here's
when
the thing that I do is like the times where I can't get out of it and I actually have to go, I have a good time. It's not that I'm like a party
Right,
pooper and like pouting in the corner
exactly.
or something like that. I usually have a good time. It's just that it's like the whole process of like, now I got to plan my day around this specific social event. And
We have to leave
so,
at this time. We got to be ready by this time, which means we have to be home by this time.
right. And so then it's just like, I think the anxiety of like planning my whole day around one specific event makes me mad. So I'm like, not happening, not going, not gonna do it.
And I mean, I think everybody gets that feeling sometimes. I don't want to be known as the person who cancels on plans all the time. Like, I don't want to be that person. What's funny is I see my daughter's friend group, and there's like the particular people who they're like, he's not showing up. Like,
Hmm.
we invite him to everything. He's either not coming, or he's late, or he's the person who comes, makes an appearance for approximately 15 minutes, and then leaves.
Yeah.
So, and that's more common, I hate saying it, in younger generations.
What, to show up a few minutes and then leave?
Yeah, like to
But
show up
that's
and
like
be like,
normal.
that's
Like I feel like that's something that should be normalized. Is like you don't have to stay hours and hours and hours and hours at something you don't necessarily want to be at. If you make your appearance and check off your list, you're fine. It's all good.
I'm also of an age now where my friends are a lot older, so this only happens like with friends of mine that are younger, that I'll go to a wedding until dinner and I'm out.
I've been in a wedding where you showed up for dinner and you had a drink or two. It was like then the dancing started. You're like, nope, I'm out.
Well, yeah, because I don't have any desire to dance. Like, that's for the younger people. So I'm like, and they cut the cake. It's time to go.
Bye. Yeah.
Not that I didn't enjoy the wedding, and not that I didn't enjoy the reception, and not that I didn't enjoy the
It's
food,
bedtime.
but it's just
That's
time to go.
okay. And that's
We got to
okay.
go. Like, stay until 10, 11 o'clock at night, watching a bunch of people take down 10, 12 beers and dance to Moni Moni. I'm done. No, I'm good.
You threw in that song. I'm holding back tears. That is
Every white person wedding. Every white person wedding.
not mine. I can assure you that. It won't be mine.
We had that conversation at the pool the other day with a bunch of the neighbors because that song was playing on like a classic rock station. And it's like, all I can think of is white people weddings.
That's funny. Have you ever canceled on plans that like actually worked in your favor or gone to plans like wanting to cancel and it like worked out for you? Or have you ever like vice versa? Has it ever been really bad?
Oh, like where you really wanted to cancel plans and then you
Yeah.
showed up and it was exactly what you envisioned, like the anxiety in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen. So it's like, see, we should have never come, and then Justin never hears the end of it.
I should
So
have never left the house.
I'm fairly social and I like people. I really do love people. Like I love human beings. But it's funny because I see like the videos, it's like behind every social husband is a wife who hates everybody. And I don't hate everybody, but we kind of have that relationship dynamic where he's the one, let's go be with people, and I'm like, let's not.
Yeah, here's
Let's
the thing
not.
with Cole and myself is we kind of enable each other. Like, do we really want to go do that? But like, is there something we could use? Like, oh, I mean, I've used as an excuse for him not having to go to stuff or
Right.
myself, like, oh man, that's a bummer. Wish I could go. Like, but there are things that I have had to cancel on that I genuinely don't want to cancel on too. And it just works out that way, and that's never a fun feeling.
I think I'm usually like I would say I'm probably 80 to 90% show up rate for social events. Like it's not a common personality trait of mine to cancel. Like I'm not that person, but there's definitely I get the anxiety doing things on like weeknights. So trying to juggle around work, it's like, well, we're gonna go get together. We're gonna do it on a Thursday night. I'm like, not happening. If it's on a week, I'll be up front. Like, nope, my week's too busy. Like
Yeah.
the chances of us like getting together for in a like especially just for like a social thing, like obviously I've had business lunches and business dinners and things like that, but it makes it really hard on a weeknight. Now if we wanted to plan a weekend, I don't have near as much of the I gotta go do this. Like I don't have that. I will have that during the week, and that's
Right.
based on just how busy my schedule is.
Right.
But because me and two of my best friends from high school have been trying to get together for like 2 months, and we actually genuinely want to,
And it's
but
just not working out.
it's just not working out. Like my sister-in-law has to travel like for especially in the summer now for I don't know one of the sports my niece plays. I think softball's during the summer, and then my other girlfriend was the one who had had the surprise baby a couple years ago, so he's only like 3 years old. So she's juggling a toddler where we're all like,
Oof.
I'm just over here like, I mean, I can go whenever, but weeknights I still get anxiety just around work.
I
That's the
think that's Cole and I somewhat use that as an excuse. Like, yeah, we got crew. That's plenty right now. Like, he's 6 and pretty self-sufficient in the day to day, not 3. But it
yeah.
also is like an excuse to get along in the day. I don't know.
What about family functions?
Family functions, I'm fine with family functions. I
Yeah.
typically don't have that anxiety. I do get anxiety around like I'm done with work, what, 5, 6 o'clock. Sometimes it's later, sometimes it might be at like 4:30. But done with work, it's like if I don't eat dinner first thing when I'm done, I feel like my whole night is wasted. And then I eat dinner and go to bed. But I also am like, I'm the adult here and I can stay up as late as I want to.
Right.
And so I have this weird anxiety of like, if I'm not doing what I want to do by 6 o'clock for the evening, whether that's like watch a show, play video games, whatever it may be, hang out with crew, hang out with Cole. If I'm not doing it by 6 o'clock, that means the rest of the night, like I'm booked the rest of the night. I'm done. I can't do anything else.
You're just totally mad at yourself.
Yes. And I don't know why I get this anxiety that like, ah, shit, I gotta go to bed. I don't have to. I can stay up.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to. You don't
But
have to.
I'm always like, "Ah, I gotta go to bed. I don't know why. It's the most bizarre anxiety I've ever felt. And it comes on at like 7:30. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed at 8 o'clock. No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No, I
I mean,
don't
I
know. So
do.
like when you said that about like making plans during the weekday, I don't make plans during the week. We make plans in general. We really don't go out that often. But it's like nobody's making plans with me on the weekday. Ain't no
Yeah.
way. I gotta be in my bed by 8 o'clock. Says a guilty conscience. I don't know where it came from, but it's there and
That's
it's
a tad bit
gotta
restrictive.
happen.
I mean, being honest, like I can between 8, like between 9 and 10, I can say is reasonable. I am pissed if I'm not in bed, like I have to be asleep before 10:30. Otherwise, I will feel like garbage in the morning. But
Yeah,
like
no,
being
that's
in
not
bed
that's
by 8, that's like
but here's the thing, it's like I'm not in bed to go to sleep. I'll like stay up on my phone till about 10:30 every night. And if I'm really tired, that's when I'm on do not
That just
disturb.
stresses your brain out. That's
I
adding to your
know.
anxiety.
I have a
It's
problem.
increasing your cortisol levels. Haven't you read an
I
article?
know. That's something that I'm trying to lower actually is my cortisol levels. But I don't know why I have this anxiety. Like I have to be in bed by 8 o'clock and asleep by at least 10:30. I stay on my phone and I scroll and I sit
Everybody does.
there while I'm still awake. I'm like, I'm just sitting here. What else could I have done today in this time that I'm just sitting here scrolling in bed
Right.
because I had anxiety about not being in bed?
Yeah, well, Justin and I kind of do the same thing because we have at least one show
Hmm.
that we're watching. So it's like either it's once a week or it's maybe one that's we just finished that mini series on Paramount Plus called The Offer, and
Hmm.
it's like a dramatized version how what it took to get The Godfather made.
Hmm.
So it was like, I don't know, 10 episodes. So we'd watch one, maybe skip a couple days, watch another one. And we always have like one show like that. It's like, hey,
Hmm.
we decided to watch something that you could technically binge, but we're adults and we can't binge like maybe 2 episodes.
Right.
But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we do at night. It's like, do you want to watch one episode of that? Do you want to go to bed? Do you want to watch it in bed? Just to like wind down.
We actually, when we moved, so in our old house, we had a TV in our room, and we would like wake up early, watch TV, and then like when we were getting in bed, there'd be TV on. And it just gave us that excuse to stay in bed longer. So when we moved here, we were like, we're not going to put a TV in our room. One, because I don't know where it would go, but two, because we need to get our asses up. And if we're
Mhm.
going to be lazy, at least get up and walk to the fucking couch.
Right. Not us, man. We like to herkle durkle on Sundays.
That's okay. Apparently, that's like people think the world revolves around you when you ask to Herkle Durkle on Sundays.
Yeah.
We had a comment on TikTok and somebody was like, I'm sorry, the world revolves around you and your schedule. I'm like, I think you
I mean,
take
in my house it does.
I think that, and that's something that's crazy too, on a side note, is like the way people take things out of context is so real.
Oh, I know, man. So I'm sure that was within the context of that video where it was about the last podcast about inconsiderate neighbors. Like,
Yes. And you said
don't.
all I want to do on Sunday. And you were like, if somebody's doing the lawnmower I can't remember if it was in the morning or at night. You're like, it makes me mad. That's
Oh,
it. It's not like you're going to
yeah, in the morning.
stop that person.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like I went out of my way to like report them to like for a noise ordinance or some bullshit.
You can
Like,
be annoyed. Be
I
annoyed.
mean, I can be
It's the comfort
annoyed
of
all
your
I
own
want.
home.
I'm just communicating that I'm annoyed. It's in my house. It's
Right.
different. It's different if I went out and said something to them like, "Hey, you inconsiderate prick, why are you mowing your grass on a Sunday?" And I brought this up on Friday at the pool, and my brother goes, "What if they work all week and it's the only time that they can do it because it's 100 degrees during the middle of the day?" And I'm like, I understand that, but if you're going to mow your grass at 7 o'clock in the evening or 8 o'clock in the evening, just don't do it on a Friday. And honestly, if you were cutting your grass on a weeknight, that doesn't even phase me. But like because we've been outside on a weeknight and somebody's mowing the grass, and I get it, it's fucking hot outside. So more power to you. But you're doing it at 8 o'clock on a Friday? No, stop. You had 6 other days of the week to do that.
Oh boy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting old. I'm getting old and crotchety.
But it doesn't affect your plans, obviously.
Oh, what about like if you're hosting? So I love hosting. I
Mhm.
love hosting. Even if it's people coming over to the house to play video games, have a couple cocktails at the bar, if we're gonna barbecue. Like I love hosting events.
Mhm.
And I never really get bent out of shape if somebody can't come. Like
Right.
because there's been plenty of people, it's like I invited them every time. They don't come every time, but that's fine. They're still welcome here. So
Right.
I'm not gonna get upset about it. But have you ever had the instance where you've made plans, you were excited about the plans, you really wanted to do the plans, and then you're like, God, I just hope no one shows up because I'm so tired. And I do that to myself because I spend too much time, too much money, and too much energy on the planning of the event. And I always get told you buy too much stuff, you're trying too hard, and it's like, I just want it to be nice.
I don't think
But then
that's the
sometimes I
case.
get so tired where I'm just like, if no one came,
I would be
I would be
happy.
fine.
No, I don't have that. I think I'm better at an impromptu party, right? Or an impromptu gathering. If it's like spontaneous and you just have it just turns into what it turns into, those are the best. I'll never cancel that. I'll never kick anybody out for that. I
Right.
encourage it, in fact. But it's like I
I
think the whole build up to the actual event is what gives me the most anxiety. Is like that it's just this whole plan. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I know.
Don't tell, if you're inviting me, don't tell me until day of. Then I'll be good.
Well, if I'm the person hosting, I give myself the anxiety from over planning.
Right.
So it's the stress of planning, and then I always feel like I'm unprepared. So then the whole event, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry we didn't have this. And everybody's like, shut up.
You're that host. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
what, the rest of this entire buffet spread was not enough?
Right. Like the charcuterie spread you made that could feed 60 people on a night where there's 4 people here, you know.
I mean, it's one of your parties like that. It's the whole
Right.
table, the whole kitchen table. It's just a charcuterie board. This is not just a little board on the table. It's the whole table.
The whole table. Like that's the point. It has
I mean,
to
it's
look
okay.
But the other thing too is like planning events or meetups or anything on a particular night of the week. When is the one night of the week for you that socializing is just off the table?
Any of them that end in day.
The what?
Any of them that end in day.
No, mine's clear. It's Sunday.
Don't
come over.
Here's the thing. It just
Don't come over mine.
I love a good Sunday fun day. I like the impromptu party, spontaneous, you know?
Fun day. That's the key during the day.
Okay.
We're not doing anything after 5 o'clock.
No, not on a Sunday.
If you want to do Sunday fun day, then cool. We can meet somewhere around lunchtime and we can hang out till about 3. And then the rest of that is my time.
You know what real quick though, I have noticed the older I get, like when I was in high school and would drink in high school, it'd be like all about the party. You don't get ready until 9 p.m. and you stay out super late. Stupid, right? I didn't party in college. I didn't, because I worked full time and went to school full time. And I was like, I got this out in high school. I don't need this in my life right now. The older I get, the more I love with a good wake up, start drinking at about noon, stop at about 3 or 4, ride the buzz until it's time to go to bed. And then while you're riding that buzz, you hydrate so you don't feel hungover the next day. But I don't ever drink to get drunk. I reach the buzz, I ride the buzz, but I do it in the middle of the day. So I'm still mentally clear in the morning and mentally clear at night. In that daytime where I don't need to do anything, I can have a little buzz going. I'm all about that. I'm not about the let's go out at like whatever at night and go out to this place and drink. No, I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to ride the buzz and then I'm going to go to bed and I'll be sober by the time I'm in bed.
Right. That's a great idea. That's a smart strategy. And
we should make a bar that's like that. Like it's
a day drinking bar.
Okay, boomer. And it's just day drinking.
It's day drinking. And then here's the thing, you know when to cut them off because they can ride the buzz and then likely by the time they need to go home, they're sober enough to drive. Like they're not going to get in any trouble. So it's a smart strategy. I can't, like, Justin loves a good Sunday fun day. And I mean, he can hang in there with the rest of them. And there are some, we have this couple that's friends of ours that live in the neighborhood. So we hang out with them at the pool. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely the people that'll be like, sure, come back to the house on any day but Sunday. And we've done that on a Sunday when we all knew we had to work the next day. And they were here until 2 a.m. And
it's not fun anymore.
No.
My mom and I made poor decisions on a Sunday one day. And this is when we both worked with each other at the time. And I just remember seeing her the next day. And she just came into my office and she looked at me and I looked at her. That's all we needed to say. We were pitiful. We were hurting.
Sundays are one of those days if someone ends up at my house, I should hang up a sign that says, please leave by 9.
Oh my God. I need one of those. No, I'm like a please leave by like 7.
Yeah, please leave.
I gotta be in bed by 8. My anxiety is telling me this.
Please leave before Game of Thrones comes on.
That's all.
Yeah, that's like and Sunday. It's like Sunday you do laundry, meal prep for the week, get some groceries. So you're just kind of going through your schedule. You're just kind of like me. I don't hardcore like I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna strap myself to my desk for like 2 hours and plan. No, it's like I already have most of that wrapped up by Friday, where I'm rolling into the next week. So my Sunday kind of planning is kind of skimming my schedule, moving some things around if I need to move some things around. Any kind of prep work I send to my assistant, and then I get to like again prep other things at home. Mm-hmm. So do I have time to entertain people? No. But, and again, it's funny, Justin and I joke, not even really, he started the joke. So the whole thing about him going to the pool, he's like now known. Like if he's at the pool, that he has his margarita bucket. You know, it's the bucket about this tall.
Yeah.
Filled with margarita. And he knows with how fast he drinks it. And it's a big ass margarita.
Big margarita.
When we buy those drinks at the restaurant where we get the buckets, they're $20 a piece.
Ooh, that's a big margarita.
So it's a big margarita. So he drinks one, and he knows that in the time it takes him to drink one, that's roughly an hour. So like he sips on it for like 45 minutes to an hour, and he knows, okay, margarita's gone. I've been here for about an hour. It's time to go home. So he calls that his hourglass when he goes to the pool.
What he's done with his margarita.
And the other day he made a second one, and I like looked at him. I go, "Did you just make another margarita?" And he goes, "You say that like I've drank two." I'm like, "It took you 45 minutes to drink that one. How long are we gonna be here today?"
All right. You gotta plan your whole day around it, and then that's when the anxiety starts.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do today?
Then,
what
like,
are you not gonna do today?
God, right. So it's like, okay, so laundry's right out after this, right? So it sounds like you're gonna take a nap when we get home. But no, like things that I can't think of, like specific events that I don't want to go to. The only ones that I've I've been this way since I was younger, like bridal showers and baby showers. I mean, I'll go, but I don't want to be there. I likely don't want to be there. I'll bring a gift.
This is when you move out of state from everyone that you know. So when you get invited, you go, I can't fly in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I don't know if I've had anybody from out of town, but like weddings are fine. But again, once we get past dinner, I'm likely out of there.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Likely out of there.
And that's okay.
Because I don't need to party and hang out. So in the grand scheme of things, we talked about we don't like plans on weeknights. My Sundays are sacred, and I love to host. So I would say I might be more likely the person that gets canceled on because I like to host.
I'm likely that person that's gonna cancel.
Well, now we know.
Because I don't really host that often, but when I do get that anxiety. I don't host often. I have too much anxiety to like give a shit.
Mhm.
And I don't know what's the third one. I'm just gonna cancel. That's just who I am. And I'm sorry if this offends anybody that I've canceled on. Take it personal. It's not you, it's me.
Right. It's not them. It's just all internal.
It's all internal. It's a lot of internal. So
I will try to get out of an event if it's a bunch of people that I don't know.
Understandable.
So if it's like Justin's like, hey, you remember that guy that I graduated high school with that you've only met one time, and we really ran into each other at like the local carnival, and we talked for like 5 seconds, and I've only talked about him once. We're gonna go to his 50th birthday party, and I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Why?
Like, first of all, how'd you even get invited if you've only talked to him? And those are the types of ones where I'm like, really? Do I have to go? Can you go by yourself? Like, I just can't. I don't have the social meter right now. And as I've gotten older, that for sure has gotten worse. So that's gotten worse where like I can definitely tell when my social meter is depleted.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, it's time to go. And again, it's not that I don't enjoy whatever event that we're going to, but I get more of that social anxiety where I'm like, is anybody that I know going to be there? Because Justin's like a social butterfly. If he got invited to a party that is like,
to anybody,
hey, let's go meet new people. And for the most part, I'm like that. I'm probably more like that at business related events, like networking events,
Yeah.
like just getting to know other people within a certain context. If it's like, we're going to a social event, I don't know these people, I don't know how drunk they're gonna get, I don't like.
Oh my God, remember when we were in Georgia? This just reminds me. Remember we were in Georgia? We were at that one like weird, somebody was rolling up in the bathroom. I don't know. It was so weird. And that guy, we were sitting down, that guy was like trying to like bump my shoulder like he was being my buddy. I was like, no.
No. We were in Savannah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to like step in, you're like, just stop. I was like,
yeah.
Telling no, like stop touching me. I don't no.
Right.
No.
No,
But also it was so late that you and I did not want to be there at that time, at that place. Not that we didn't want to be in Georgia. It was just I didn't want to be at that bar. I was tired.
Yeah, and we were getting tired. It wasn't, and honestly, I think we had a good time there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we had a good time there, but it was to that point where
when it was at that point of the night where it's just like, hey, it's time to go.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you end up at Pops at 2 a.m. here in the St. Louis area, you should have gone home 2 hours ago. Yeah. So again, it's context, right? It's the context in which you ended up in said place. And if it's a party, and again, you can end up meeting terrific people and make new friends and all of that stuff. Like, and if you think of like the bachelorette party, like I didn't have a whole lot of anxiety about going, and we did meet new people, and we did make new friends. So like that was a good time. But but it's again, if you're going to an event or going someplace where you really don't know anybody, then you start it's more of the story that you're telling yourself. But like
Right.
those are the types of things where, and Justin's done that more than once. Like there's one friend of his that had a big 50th birthday party and I was just out of town, but I knew him and his wife, so I would have went with him to that party. Like we'd met before on a one-on-one kind of, we either went to dinner or they came to the house, I think maybe both, and I would have went to that party. But then he'll pull one out of his back pocket out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, so and so that I haven't talked to in 30 years just reached out, and him and his wife want to go to dinner. I'm like,
That
what?
gives me anxiety, and I'm not even involved.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, I don't know those people. And again,
Right.
it's not like I'm mean or rude or anything, but still I'm just like, come on.
How about no?
So much. And if you pitch that on a weeknight, I'm like, no. There's plenty of, when my kids were younger and I worked a lot anyway, there were a lot of, do you want to go get drinks after work? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, would I love to go get drinks with you? Yes, but I never see my children as it is.
Right.
So I'm not gonna do that. Like we can see each other at work. High five.
High five.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would say I'm the person who would more likely get canceled on. And again, I can't think of anybody that I'm holding a grudge against. So shit happens. I get it. But if I'm not as often the canceler, but I have those thoughts.
No, I'm the canceler for sure. For sure. If it involves family, no. If it's any other social event with friends, I'm like, it sounds good in the moment, and then it's time, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna cancel.
Do you know what sounds better? My sweatshirt and my sweatpants and me doing something from my couch, if it's working on my laptop or watching YouTube.
Yeah.
That sounds so much better.
So much better. So anyway, you can reach out to us on Instagram at F__K your pod, or you can email me at Emma@99creatives, or
Katy at 99 Creatives.
if you want to see more business related content, you can always check us out on TikTok at 99 Creatives. And if you want to hear more, we put out new episodes every Friday. Right, Katy?
Right.
Perfect.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. So it's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
Adios.